Hey everyone, in this video we're visiting a beautiful, one-of-a-kind four-season yurt. This is a traditional 32-foot canvas yurt that has been modified for the West Coast climate by adding a cedar shake roof, wooden siding, and extra insulation. From the outside it looks like a cabin, but the interior still looks exactly like a yurt, with a canvas cover, lattice walls, and wooden roof rafters. It has intricately carved features that were inspired by the Lord of the Rings, including the front door and the spiral staircase that leads to the loft. The open concept interior is bright and filled with plants, and it's a fully functional living space. We're gonna go meet up with the owners at their homestead on Vancouver Island and get a full tour, so let's go check it out.
So the yurt is tucked away in a little corner of our homestead called Honey Grove, and we have a vegetable garden, we have an orchard, we keep bees.
I would say the inspiration behind the yurt was to create a space that felt both cozy and of being at home and being in nature at the same time.
The Lord of the Rings has also been a pretty major inspiration. So Elvin architecture, you can see that in our door, and the writing above the door is actually an Elvin inscription. It's a riddle. The door, we see it as a gate into a different world. So this yurt, like I said, it came from a kit made by Yurts by Design. The basic kit is a 32-foot. It has these pillars that add some structural support and a middle post right through the middle of the room. When it comes to the foundation, it's got concrete post foundations. There's quite a few down there. As you can imagine, it's a big circle, so the floor needs to be supported at quite a few points. So this is the living room, and this is the main, I guess, living area. There's like a few seating options here, and we have a propane stove which provides actually all of the heat for the yurt. So once every few weeks we go and refill the tanks, but because it's so well insulated, we can heat the place entirely with propane, which is very affordable. Besides the stove, we also have a little space heater, and there's a floorboard heater in the bedroom if people want that. Yeah, and as you can see, there's a lot of plants in the yurt. That's part of the idea as well, to facilitate a connection between people and nature and between inside and outside. The art reflects that. It's all art from the West Coast by our good friend Ian Myers. She lives on Gabriel Island and she is an amazing painter. So this is the work corner. Of course, you can't do without internet today, and this way people can work here and stay connected to everything they need to.
So now we're in the kitchen. It's a really very modern kitchen, given that you're in a yurt. There's a full-size fridge, and we also made sure that there's a very good stove here that is propane. Every good cook that I know says gas stoves are the way to go. So this is the countertop, and it's actually made of concrete. We wanted to create something here that felt like stone, like earth. And then the tiles are actually made of shell. The cabinets are all low. The idea behind that being that we wanted to really keep the circular feel of the yurt. The more cabinets you get, the more shelves you put in, the more you take away from that circular space. And that's such a part of the experience when you come in. We wanted to keep the awareness that you're in a yurt, that you're in a circular building. So you might notice that the wall here is not lattice, that it's actually made of drywall. And the reason being, we wanted to create a hygienic space in the kitchen. We wanted to create a place where, when you splash olive oil up against the wall, you can wipe it off. And here we just have some open shelving, easy to grab your teacup or whatever you need, your spices if you're cooking. This is a bar that my brother built, actually, and it's got a live edge here, as you can see. It's made from local maple trees, and it was milled just down the road. And here we have the dining room. We just wanted to have a nice big family table, again with the idea of people coming and feeling at home wherever they are.
So this staircase is an Adam Zilke masterpiece. It was quite a feat to get the banister and the rail to this shape, but did it and turned out beautiful. That's a great space saver. And yeah, this leads up to the loft, which doubles as a bedroom. The banisters, you can see each one of the posts, it looks like a tree, and they're all intertwining. And between them, there are these diamond shapes. And these diamond shapes, they reflect the lattice, which is also the same shape, so it all mirrors each other. So this is the master bedroom, and you can see another one of Ian's beautiful paintings. So this is actually an addition. It is the only part of the yurt that protrudes, so it's standing on pillars, and it's quite a ways off because we have some slope. So this is really like your viewing station into the forest. And when you're laying on the bed, we also lined the windows up so that you can see the forest while laying in the bed, and we positioned the skylight so that you can see the stars and the treetops. This wall actually follows the curvature of the yurt, and it was just connected by curving the wall, and there's a joint where the yurt wall joins the wall here, and it was sealed with really heavy duty foam to stop rodents from getting in.
This is the bathroom, and it's surprisingly spacious, actually. And again, it's bright. It's nice to have a bright bathroom because it stays clean. There's a shower here, and it's a nice big shower that 2 people could get in. And the hot water for the shower and for actually the whole space is on demand. The toilet here is a composting toilet, and we decided on that because, well, number one, we're gardeners. And the compost that's generated from this toilet we use on our shrubs and trees and flowers. We don't use it in our food garden, but we use it all over the property, and everything benefits greatly for it. This toilet is called a separate, and it is called this because it separates the solids from the liquids, and that is very important in order for it to work and function. There's a little fan inside that actually dehydrates the solids and prepares them to be composted.
So to my left is a little utility closet. It's not as finished because it doesn't need to be, but that's where we store all of our cleaning supplies, and we have a washing machine here. And if people want to dry their clothes, there's a little hanger you can place right in front of the fireplace. Crank the fan up and it'll be drying before too long. So this yurt was actually put up 8 years ago when Nao's brother and his wife lived here. When they lived here, it was still just a regular yurt from a kit. And then after 5 years, they moved out, and when we wanted to convert this to a hospitality place, there were quite a few downsides that we had to deal with. And the main problems we dealt with were, because the insulation, you can see it here, it's very thin. It's just a reflective insulation that, I don't know, it's probably maybe R1 or 2. It was very cold. Also, the geometry of the yurt contributes to this because there's a lot of upward space. So all the heat tends to rise, and there's a ceiling fan that helps with that. It circulates the air, but still, despite all of that, the heat escaped through the ceiling like no one's business. So it was difficult to get the place above 16 or 17 degrees, even with a roaring wood fire. The second problem was that with the damp of the West Coast, the canvas was really starting to deteriorate on the outside. So mold, constant humidity, it was starting to age, and you can either re-canvas the place, and that's not very cheap, and also we would stay with the same problems. So what we did was we built retaining walls, and they're cedar, and between the cedar wall and the canvas wall, we put R40 insulation, and also by putting a few inches of hard foam insulation and then building our cedar shake roof above it, we're able to insulate the space to several orders of magnitude more than what it was previously. So by no means would either of us suggest that this is the best way to build a yurt. This is a retrofit that we came up with because we already had a yurt here, and we needed to solve some problems. So this is just what we came up with. Yeah, there might be cheaper, easier ways, but it worked for us. The original yurt was assembled by our good friend Adam Zoki, who's a green builder, and more than that, he's a wood artist. And then we hired him again for the renovation. I also worked on the project, and the manager, at least from the engineering side, was my father. He came here with his best friend all the way from our home country, and this was a family project.
We hope you enjoyed visiting this yurt with us. We'll put a link to the Airbnb listing as well as links for the builder and the artist in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.